evening here. Good morning. Namaste from India.
Good
So,
to see you.
yes, it's my pleasure. It's my privilege to invite you all the way from United States of America.
Amazing.
Yes. So, I have been looking for this particular session for a long time
Yeah.
because my wife and me are also teachers working in this part of India. So, whatever the questions that I am going to ask in this particular session are going to be so interesting because India and the United States of America are a bit different in terms of cultural wise. So we
Yes.
too have the same issues, problems as we face, we all experience. But I am quite curious to know what are going to be the answers from the American perspective, American context. Before we are going to do that, may I request both of you introduce one by one?
Sure. Do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay. So my name is Kimberly Grigoli. I've been in education. I've been a teacher for 21 years. I focus more in elementary school. So I have taught grades from kindergarten up to fourth and fifth grade. Aside from being a teacher, I just finished my degree in administration. So now I have a certificate, principal certificate, and supervisor certificate. So at some point, I might be looking to move on into a leadership role. But right now, I'm still in as a teacher. Aside from teaching, I am a mom. And we have two boys. They are 16 and 18 years old. Our 18-year-old just graduated from high school. So we're in the process of getting ready for his graduation party today.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Grigoli. I've been an educator. This is my 25th year. I teach seventh grade social studies, which is a great subject. You have to jazz it up a little bit. But I also coach boys track and I do intramural floor hockey. So, in addition to teaching, have a lot of roles at school as well.
Okay, thank you so much for your introduction. Now, so I request you, both of you, to answer to these questions from your own perspective because your answers may be different from one another.
Yes.
Yeah. So my first question will be, how do you handle your professional life and personal responsibilities? How do you deal? How do you see these two things?
All right, do you want? I can. Sometimes I'm really bad at that, actually. For me, I don't know if it's more elementary school or just me in general, but sometimes it's really difficult to kind of separate my professional life in school, sometimes from home. So it's very often that you'll see me late at night answering emails, putting together a post for social media for my class, getting things ready for the next day. I bring a lot of things home with me, and I do have a tough time, disconnecting and separating the two. And we're very dedicated, so I think that that's also part of it. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do, so I don't mind doing those things. But it definitely sometimes I have to make sure that I kind of create that separation. I also have a lot of other things that I do here. We are very busy with the boys and especially sports. Jeremy takes on most of the hockey. Our one son plays ice hockey, and there's a lot of travel involved with that. So, yeah, so I do my best, but I'm not the best at it. And Jeremy will tell you that.
Yes.
Can separate a little bit easier just because I've taught the same subject for so long and I am so aware of the content and stuff. But yeah, it's hard because when you're a teacher, that kind of takes on your persona as well. So it does follow you home, and you're always thinking about observations or grading or planning or something that might have happened to one of your kids at school. But it is hard to we are so busy, but when you're a teacher, you're kind of always a teacher.
Thank you so much. And here is another question. Usually at my home, we discuss the school related issues and as well as personal life, issues. Because both are, since we both are teachers, whatever happens, and happening in our school and what is happening in my school, we both share and discuss and we seek each one of the opinions and we are going to come to a conclusion maybe discussing with one another. So here my question with Kim is, do you often discuss the school related issues with your partner, or do you want to stay away from school related issues? You just stick to personal issues only within the family.
That's such an interesting thing. I think that's one of the blessings of us being married and being in the same field. We definitely do discuss a lot of school related issues and, how our day was going and, different things that are going on. And I think that that is something that makes it kind of special, our relationship even more special, that we have the opportunity to do that. I think that our relationship would be very different if we were in different fields, because we don't have that to relate to. We both understand, and especially with the issues that are going on currently, after everything that went on with COVID and stuff, we, even though we teach different grade levels, we see a lot of the same things. And I think it's great that we have that camaraderie. And it is, teaching is more, it's not really a career so much as it's like a lifestyle. And I think that we both understand that, and it's great that we are able to kind of bounce ideas off each other.
And it's funny because we have friends that, one is a teacher and one is not, and they don't like to hear about school all the time. Like, oh, you guys just talk about school. So even when you're with other teachers, you start talking about that too. So we are blessed that we can share that. And it does take on a lot of our time. But yeah, we feel bad for people that are married to teachers and do something else because they don't understand.
They don't.
Yes. So one more thing, actually, we do have a unique teaching styles. I may be different from you, and you may be different from your wife. So, uh, how do your teaching styles different from one another? And have you learned anything from your partner in terms of teaching a particular topic, or maybe is different mannerism or skill or technique, something like that?
Well, in social studies, I try to bring it to life. Just because it is very difficult in the United States to keep kids engaged. So I cover current events through a website called the Week in Rap. So they go over different topics, and the kids love to hear the weekly rap. I also use that for content, but I do like a lot of comic strips and hands-on activities and stations to keep them engaged. I'm not a teacher that just gets up and lectures a lot. And Kimberly is an amazing teacher too. She was actually Monmouth County Teacher of the Year, which is a huge honor. But she blows me away every day with the things that she can come up with her kids and what she shows me that her kids do. So I do learn a lot from her, and she definitely is a lot more creative than I am.
Different age groups
Yeah.
too, and I think that's part of it. I look at the things, and teaching middle school is a totally different thing from teaching elementary school. And Jeremy definitely does keep them engaged. Sometimes he tells me things that he does, and I'm like, how did you do that? Are you sure you can do that?
So here is another question. How do you support each other when it comes to the challenging times? Because in our life, we don't expect the things. Sometimes unexpected things might happen. So family wise. So how do you support each other? And one more thing that I would like to share with you. Whenever I have a difficult problem, or when it is family or outside family, so I simply share with my wife, and so she's is a good advisor. Is in fact, wives are good advisors, and they are all rounders. In fact, so they she keeps giving me some advices, and so that I can come out of that issue. And even in professional wise, if there are any difficult students to tackle with, I mean, in the United States of America, you have a problem of misbehaviorism from the students wise. So if there is any student or any particular group of students troubling you, do you share anything that how you can tackle with them uh, in at home? Could you please share with us?
Yeah, I think well, first for my situation, I think Jeremy's really good at listening. He's like a very good listener, and I think sometimes that's part of what we just need is somebody to listen to us and understand and kind of validate, and understand that it's okay to feel what we're feeling, and because it is exhausting at times and it does get overwhelming and there are different things that go on. So it's great that, that I have you to
Mhm.
do that. And then hopefully I hope you feel like that I can listen to you too. But I think that we also really try to be present with each other. And I think that's important as well. And just understand, even yesterday, I forget what you said to me, but you're like, accept what is, what will be, and have faith. And, it was like one of those things I just needed to hear. And it was really great. So, and I don't know if you want to answer the rest of
Yeah,
the
and
question.
just so yeah, when you have misbehaviors in school, it's always good to have different perspectives. So I look at maybe how I might have handled the situation, and we can kind of use each other as support systems, and maybe what she would have done, and especially now that she's going to become an administrator, so she kind of has a little different of a hat on that she could kind of give me advice and stuff, but. Yeah, it's a huge partnership, and we have to work together, and I think that's what makes our relationship so unique, that we are teachers, and I think we are each other's best friend and our strongest support system, and we're always looking to each other for advice. Mine might not be as good, but
Here in Indian context, doctors marry with another doctor. Engineers prefer the engineers. Teachers prefer teachers. So when it comes to the marriages, so
Yeah.
could you please explain what are the advantages and the disadvantages of being in the same profession?
I'll do the advantages. You can do the disadvantages.
Disadvantages, again, I will never complain about the money we make in America. I think we should make more money. So when we are both teachers, we are probably not being paid as much as other friends that are in different fields. But we do value time over money. So we get summers off. We do have to supplement with tutoring and stuff, but we're able to go to our kids' events and be there for each other, and we're not bogged down behind a screen somewhere. Um, so yeah, I just think
Those are easy.
more advantages to disadvantages, I would say, but yeah, just the money, and maybe that our conversations are based around teaching so much and stuff like that. But again, we love what we do, but little disadvantages.
Yes. And the other challenge, sometimes it's nice that we do have time off. Right now it is summer, so we do have a large chunk of time off. And then we do have holidays, but we are scheduled on the times that we are off. So we are unable to. We have a friend that wants to go someplace really far and great next year in May. And that's not something that we're just able to do. We just can't, we can't schedule vacations or time off the same way. And when we are off or we're not feeling well, we do carry that guilt of being home and leaving our class. And that's something that's really challenging as well, because it's not like you can just take a day and that day doesn't affect anybody else. That if that day that you take off teaching kindergarten affects all my kindergarten students. They have a different type of day when I'm not there. So that's something that you kind of carry with you.
The one profession, it's more work to not go to school.
It is.
It's more work to plan and to do that kind of stuff, and you just
Yes.
can't.
Taking a day off is so much work. But the advantage of teaching is that we have the best job, and that we're surrounded by children and they're learning, and we're teaching and we're shaping them and we're helping them figure out their way. And I think there isn't anything more rewarding than that. And that is something that is really, we are both really blessed, and we know that we're blessed to have this
And
job.
we say we don't go to work, we go to school. So I would never
Yeah.
consider it work. So we are in the student schedule our whole life. So that's good.
Yeah, thank you so much. My question here in this context is, have you ever shared any resources with one another when it comes to the teaching? Or both of you, have you both collaborated in any project, or have you contributed something from your friend to your partner in teaching wise, or anything that related to that teaching?
I would say, well, years ago we had with Kay in Japan, we were kind of doing a pen pal program, and I was doing it with my students. Jeremy was doing it with his students. She was over in Japan, and that was really kind of
Yes.
cool. Recently, because we teach such different grades, we don't really get to collaborate materials as much. However, I was at an honored educators forum a couple months ago, and the discussion was wrapped around AI and what we're doing with it in education. Are we going to start, is it something that you as teachers we should be using, should we not be using it? If we aren't using it, then other kids are using it in other schools, and then are students going to be at a disadvantage? And is it fair when some students do use it for an assignment and other kids that know they shouldn't don't use it and spend hours, and the other one spends a minute and they get the same grade? So it was a very interesting conversation. And one of the state teachers actually created through Chat GPT, it was like a debatertron where you could put in information and have the computer debate with you on a topic. So this is not something I could do for kindergarten at all, but we came back and we were talking about how it could be used. It's a whole different conversation whether or not it should be used, but Jeremy and I sat down that night and we were practicing and we're like, oh my gosh, this is really neat that you were, I don't know, we were talking about the American Revolution or something with this Chat GPT and going back and forth and having a complete debate. The two of us, we were like having conversations, typing in, and it was neat for us to kind of see, like, it was exciting for us to see how students could use it if they wanted to. So that was kind of a fun thing.
Yeah. But again, just the differences in our curriculums and our grade levels, it's a little bit different, but we're always talking about different strategies that we could use for different lessons and stuff.
Okay, thank you. So, connection, I would like to ask you, how has being teachers influenced your parenting style?
That's always an interesting one because I always said I waste my patience on my school kids, that when I came home, I don't have a lot of patience for my own. And you kind of see maybe from certain kids how you don't want your kids raised, right? You want to see them succeed. So I would say teaching does have a lot to do with it. I'm probably a little bit more relaxed with my kids at school, but both my sons are very good kids too. So something went right.
Yeah, we were really lucky.
Yeah.
As far as school, I think being teachers, definitely when they were growing up, more elementary grades, we were much more involved with them. And I understood like the curriculum and how and why they had to do the certain things that they had to do. But as with all of them, as they get older, they kind of do their own thing. But I hope that we kind of instilled that love of learning for them, and that we do take education, and we value education very much so in our household. So.
And now I have a few questions, quite interesting questions. Did you get married after coming into the teaching profession or before teaching profession?
So we actually met on, I started working, I had my first job in the school district, and Kimberly was there as an instructional assistant. So she wasn't even in as a teacher yet. And I started the first day of school. And actually, the first time we talked was on 9/11. We both had that period off, and we were actually watching the events of 9/11 on an old TV in the teacher's room. And her father took the path every morning under the World Trade Center. So that's when we started talking, and I think we were dating 2 weeks later. So it actually happened in the same school. And I always said I would never marry somebody from school or date somebody from school. And 5 days in, that changed very quickly. So yes, we met at school.
Okay. So is it quite common in the United States of America to choose partner as a teacher? If you are a teacher, you have a commonality to choose your partner also be a teacher, or is it a bit rare to choose your wife as a teacher if you are a teacher? In Indian context, if you are a teacher, most probably they go for the teachers as their life partner. How is it the situation in your country?
You see a lot of teachers that are married to teachers for sure. If not teachers, then principals or supervisors. Definitely in the profession, I would say more often than not. However, it is a struggle. And, I have so many friends that say, like, I don't know how the two of you could be teachers and survive and, get through financially. You do see a lot of teachers that do have extra jobs. A lot of times they have summer jobs or part-time jobs after school to make ends meet as well. But you do see, and I think that it just kind of lends itself to, teachers being married to teachers. But so.
Just because you're going through the same things, and just, we know quite a few people that have met at school as well and are married to each other.
So being public school teachers in India is a bit comfortable to lead our life and to bring up our children and to give them a good quality education in public education perspective. Do you think that being public school teachers in the United States of America is comfortable enough to lead a comfortable life, or is it not as same as compared to the other professions?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think that it is. It's stability. Once you are tenured in your profession, you pretty much are. You have security, and you do have a job, and you do have benefits, and you
Really
do
good
have.
health care that a
And
lot of people in the private sector don't have.
yes, and I think that too. When you look at the time and the holidays and all of those things, we do have that. So as far as raising a family, I think that it is very ideal, and it is very comfortable. Um, the profession itself has changed a lot
Yes.
over the years, and I think that getting through the pandemic, and I think social media and technology has also changed that a lot. And I think teachers are facing a lot more challenges than they've ever faced before. That being said, I feel that there's also a push now with administration and stuff that even the Department of Education is looking at, or at least in New Jersey, ways to support teachers and also, find that support system. So I think we're lucky that way that there is kind of like a little bit more insight into that. I think less people are going into the profession right now,
Yes.
but hopefully that's going to change.
And when you see somebody that can go to college and work out of their bedroom and making more money than, we've been working for 25 years and they're starting that and they can work out of their home. But again, it's the other things that, like I said, we value time over money. So we know we're not going to be rich, but we have a lot of time. We can affect students' lives on a daily basis. So it's the give and take, but it's not a lot of people make a lot more money than we do.
And just to add to that too, and I don't know how it is in India, but in New Jersey, every district is very different. You're not hired just by like the state of New Jersey for education or different areas. You're hired by each individual school district. So every school district and every building is very different. You have the same curriculum that's statewide, but so there, you could talk to somebody else who would have a completely different view on how we feel. We're both blessed that we're in buildings that are really great school districts and school buildings, and we have a lot of support with other teachers, and we're in good places. And I think that's part of it too, right? Making sure that you find your village and your family because it's important.
Yes, in India, we have the retirement age fixed at 62 years. So those who cross the 62, I think they are going to be retired from their services. But the issue is after 2004, a new pensionary system has been introduced in India. As per that particular system, teachers and all government employees have to contribute their own money towards their pension. Uh, so, do you have the same system in every employee? I mean, whether it's a public sector or private sector. After retirement, whatever the pensionary benefits that we get, we can live our second innings, I mean, second life happily with our children. So that's so important. Uh, but in India, we have a different system. Many employees working after 2004 have been agitating against the government decision and to introduce the new system. And those who have been serving for for the government, uh, who got selected before 2004 are saying that yes, we are so lucky enough to get the pension provided by the government exclusively. So this is how the system is in India. So do you have the same system in your country, in your district, or is it different from what we have?
We pay into our pension system, so we contribute as well. There's it's interesting actually because it's changed a lot as well. I think prior to 2000, I don't know, we initially there was one tier in the pension system, and you can be out at 55, retire at 55 and 25.
years.
So Jeremy's in that pension, and then after probably around the same time, I don't know, 2010, 2011, or I don't even know when that was. They did change it to a tier 5 system now. So now the pension system is 65 and 35, I think, or 30, maybe 30. It might be 30 years. So it's changed a lot, but there's a lot of discussion around that because some people that left the pension system and then came back into it were at tier one, and then they came back and now they're tier five. And that's a big difference. Having that retirement in 10 years is a huge difference. So they're looking to change that back to the tier one. There's a lot of discussion around that. Hopefully that will be changing for people that were already in tier one. But I think for the other people, they're looking to change it too. I think that 65 is a lot to ask for somebody who's been in education for so many years. Um, it's a challenge, but at the same time, there's a shortage of teachers and they need teachers. So,
and it's a state system, so sometimes the governor funds our pensions, sometimes they borrow from it and don't put it back. So we all hope that by the time we are at that age, that money will be there. But there's always talk that maybe not. And then we have to, we a 40 here it's called a 403b, or it's like a 401k, that we can put our personal money in. But other corporations, the corporation gives you money towards that. So that's one disadvantage that we have, because they usually will meet your contribution. But again, the perk is that as a teacher that you do get that pension when, you're 55 or 62 or 65, whatever it is.
Yes. So I have a last question here. So teachers' unions are so strong in India. Whatever injustice done to the teachers will strongly be protected, trusted by the teachers' unions. And they fight with the government, and they simply fight with the government to protect the laws of the teachers. Do you have the similar strong unions in your region or in your country to protect the laws and rights of the teachers?
yes, we're very lucky,
Well, state in
especially,
particular.
yeah, in New Jersey. We're in the state of New Jersey. And in the state of New Jersey, we have the New Jersey Education Association, and it is one of the strongest teacher unions, extremely supportive, extremely involved. And yeah, we're really fortunate too because the heads of, who run the union were teachers themselves, and their boots are on the ground. They listen to what people have to say, and they are really responsive.
They can protect you with lawyers if something goes wrong, but very strong. They usually get, if it ever comes down to healthcare or better pay, the unions do a lot of work for us. But then the next state doesn't have unions. So we want to stay in New Jersey to have the unions, but there's other places that don't have unions, especially for teachers in America.
And I have to say, like in New Jersey, our union, like we have seen the change. We have seen the work that they've been doing and the changes that they've been making, which is great.
Thank you so much for your time. And I thoroughly enjoyed whatever the answers that you gave reflected me in my personal life as a teacher. So now I request to both of you to give a message to teachers. I request you both to give a message to the teachers of my region or your region.
First off, I would say thank you for what you do, because especially in America, teaching is a very thankless profession. A lot of times we're putting, our school kids ahead of our own families and stuff like that. So again, if you want a lifetime of service and to know that you're going to make a change in the world and that you have a stake in raising that next generation that will eventually be taking care of us, that just continue to do what you do. It can be very challenging at times. Again, we might not get paid as much as other professions, but again, we never say we go to work, we go to school, and we just have an amazing possibility of impacting, again, if it's just one student a day, and we can go home with that. And, that is what makes our job. Like when we get letters from former students, and that's what makes what we do very special. So it might be tough at times, but just know that you are making a difference in the world and that you have such an impact and such a position to really mold this next generation of people. And we love to do what we do. So continue with it. And thank you for, again, teaching our youth.
Yeah. And I would just say, to add to that, just enjoy the moments, really celebrate those good moments. And we all have moments that are more challenging. And I would definitely say that to be kind to yourself sometimes and give yourself that space and that time. because I think that sometimes we are really critical of ourselves and really tough on ourselves. And I think that we need sometimes to make sure that check in with ourselves and just make sure that we have that time and we celebrate those wins, and that we're so fortunate, we're so blessed, and I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in everything else that's going on in our lives that we don't realize all of the blessings that we have. And I think that that's a big part of it. And we are shaping the future, and we are making a difference, and just remembering that, and having fun while we're doing it. That's super important too. It should be fun. We should be enjoying all the moments. So
Thank you so much. And may I request you to give me a virtual tour of your home so that we can end this session? Is it possible?
sure, I'll give you a little bit of a tour. We're in the middle of getting ready for like a graduation party right now. So we have like our kitchen area here, and we have my son Tanner over there. And then we have our living space here. And we have, I don't know where my dogs are right now. Oh, we have a big sheepdog. That's Jagger. He's 12. Yeah. And then we have, I'll just bring you in here. We have like our computer room, little den area. And then our door. Kind of show you our neighborhood, maybe, if you want to just kind of look outside so you can kind
Yeah,
of
please.
see. Sure. So we live in Ocean Township. We're kind of by the beach. So here we are.
Yes, so
Cloudy
great.
day.
Yeah, everything is,
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
yes.
Very lucky to be where we are. And then my son is a musician. So we have a music room with
Oh,
you know guitars and piano, and
quite interesting.
I play the keys too. So
Yeah. Thank
and
you
then
so much. Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much for your time.